Have you ever experienced a conversation where you feel like yourself and the other person are on a different page? This is something I come across often in the discussions I have with senior executives, as they're frustrated with the fact that they've got a very strong point they're trying to make with someone and they feel that it's falling on deaf ears. The main reason for this is a simple situation we just call two issues. Wherever there's a dispute, wherever there's a disagreement, nearly every single time you'll find that there are two separate issues. There's the issue that you have and there's the issue that the other person has. They seem to meld in together and blend in, and when we're starting to talk to each other, we feel like we're talking about the same thing, but in fact we're not. And what that means is our conversations are coming from two different agendas. So one of the things we do when we're working with clients is get them to realize what you have to do when you hit those situations is to separate the issues. And one of the best ways of doing that is to listen to the other person and default to acknowledging what they're saying. So this might sound a little strange at first, but one of the things I say when you're in a dispute or in a disagreement with someone to my clients, say the first thing I want you to do is default to acknowledge. What that means is say, you know what, you're absolutely right. Now that's going to seem a little counterintuitive. It's going to seem like, hang on a minute, I'm not too sure they are right because I've got this agenda, I've got this thing which I believe is different, or I don't think everything they're saying is right. But the fact is, I guarantee that something they're saying is right. So you default to acknowledge. You know what? You're absolutely right. There is a problem with this, or we do need to change it. We do need to move forward, and I agree with you, and we need to do that together. So as you're doing that, I want you to listen to the issue that they have and often park the issue that you have. So I'll give you an example of this. We had a client who was disagreeing, a general manager with the CEO. The general manager was frustrated with the fact that the CEO had spoken to their direct reports, the general manager's direct reports, without speaking to them because of a sales issue. When the GM confronted the CEO and said, why didn't you speak to me? You should be going through me to do that. The CEO quite simply said, look, that was one of the worst sales results I ever had and I needed to go to them quickly. The general manager said, but you needed to come through me. And the CEO said, look, I needed to deal with that urgently and I didn't know where you were. And the discussion to and froed and got nowhere. The reality is there were two issues. What were the two issues? One is the CEO's issue of the fact that the sales were not where they needed to be and there needed to be urgent communication. The general manager's issue was a protocol issue. Now, while you're trying to discuss the two issues, it's not going to work. So what was the advice to the GM? The GM was to say to the CEO, you know what, you're absolutely right. The sales issue was urgent and needed to be addressed. By doing that, what you do is disarm the person. They say, you know what, we're on the same path and we can now have a conversation. At a later stage, you can then deal with issue two. And issue two is, next time, can you just give me a call and I will get onto that because I understand how important it is and I will work that for you. This is the two issues rule. If you're having a disagreement, think about how many issues there are. What is my issue? What is the other person's issue? Are we actually on the same page? To let them know that I understand, acknowledge. You're absolutely right. We do need to fix that. And when the time is right, then have your say and let them know what it is that your issue, that you're wanting to deal with and how you're wanting to deal with it. Once again, I hope this tip has been valuable and have a great day.